All right, so for part one, you would have already watched the instructional video provided down here, and you would have completed your plot graph summary. But now you're on to part two. So, what am I actually wanting you to do? So, now I want you to take all the information that you've gathered here from the story, and I want you to put it into a summary paragraph. And you've got the citation for your work here. So, let's think about this. We know what the story's called. We know that these things happen in the beginning of the story, then these things happen in the middle, and then finally in the end, these are the things that happened. And I described that in more details in the first video. So when you're writing your story or your summary, you're just taking that information. So in the narrative, or you could call it a short story. In the narrative, Zoo by Edward Hoch, we are introduced to a number of different characters. So you might want to start with that. You're relating the fact that it's in the beginning. You then could write a couple of sentences about who the main characters are. Then you might go on to say the main conflict of the story is, and you would state what that is. The story is also set in da 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 da. So you want to address sort of the things that happen in the beginning of the story first. So your next part would be thinking about the things that are happening in the middle of the story and putting this into sentences. So during the middle of the story, the following events occur in the rising action. The climax or the turning point is when the people of Earth actually get to see the interplanetary zoo for the 6 hours, and they all safely interact with the zoo. So the events in the following action would be the things that are happening after the zoo leaves. And so you would have already created some details there. So that would be probably the next order of what you would write in your summary. Finally, in the end of the story, you could say the conflict is resolved when, and you could talk about the people of Earth safely getting to see the zoo and getting excited about coming back to it the next year. And then I talked about this in the part one of the video. So your summary is basically just tying all those things together into a paragraph in that order, keeping in mind you should be writing in complete sentences. And you've got your topic sentence, the title of the narrative, the author's name, and then you've used the information up above to help you to sort of write what were the most important things about the story. So there are transition words here that you could use. If you do use the author's exact words, make sure that you put them in quotes. And as you're getting into these longer writing pieces, if you feel like you want me to work through it with you, all you have to do is send me an email or contact me and share your document, and we can go in and work on it in time if you're struggling. Okay, so that is basically what you need to do for part two.